welcome.
Thank you. Thanks for having me. I feel really special actually right now.
Babak Shahrokh
That's right.
is here, and he is a dentist by day, comedian by night, actor every moment of life.
Just acting all the time.
And we're here to chat about comedy, pulling people's teeth.
There you go. That sounds awesome. That's fun.
Okay, so let's get started here. What is, I'm just only going to ask you questions.
Oh, God, you're going to ask me questions.
You
Okay.
can, no, I'm kidding. Rapid fire questions
questions.
for an hour. That's it.
Right.
Okay, but tell us how you got into comedy, because I feel like most people that do comedy, it comes from like this horrifying childhood, or like they have horrible relationships, or who knows what horrifying thing happened to them.
That's interesting. What do you mean, like horrifying childhood, or?
Like I think,
Because there might be some truth to that actually.
yeah, like I think a lot of comedians get into comedy because it's how they cope with trauma.
Okay, like
Maybe
broken
that's not
homes,
for you.
mean? Is that what, like?
Sure, or whatever, maybe.
Maybe.
But that's not the case for you.
No, and actually, well, I don't want to keep that a secret. No, but so I personally, for me, I had a fear of stage. I had a fear of public speaking, fear of stage. Like I couldn't even stand in front of like a crowd of 5 people and talk. It was a phobia for me. Like I have a phobia of heights, you know. I had a fear of getting on stage. The phobia of heights, I don't ever care to like overcome that, you know. I would never like do skydiving or anything like that. But this really bothered me, that I couldn't talk to a crowd, you know. I like to be the center of attention. I didn't, you know, I didn't have the, you know, I had that fear that I couldn't talk to people, right? I always liked stand-up comedy. Growing up, I always liked stand-up comedy. I thought I was funny, but nobody laughed at my jokes, right? Because I guess I didn't know how to deliver jokes. I have a dry sense of humor. Like I still do, but I really had a bad dry sense of humor. So I would tell you a joke, and then you'd be like, you know, is that funny, or was that, you know? Yeah. Anyway, so I
like, is he funny, or is he just an asshole? No, I'm kidding.
Yeah. Or is he just a weirdo?
Yeah.
Is he a creep, or is he funny? So I heard about this stand-up comedy class, and I'm like, what? There's a stand-up comedy class? And that really excited me. Like, I want to go take this stand-up comedy class. And I remember, this is how unfunny I was. And I probably still am. I'm not saying I'm funny right now, but when I told people that I'm taking this stand-up comedy class, they're like, what, you want to be a comedian? Are you kidding me? Like, I don't see you as a comedian. I don't see you doing comedy. Anyway, so I took this stand-up comedy class. It was for 6 weeks. I was with Tony Calabrese. He's a comedian. He's a San Diego comedian. He's really funny. He teaches the class. So he kind of walks you through how to like write jokes, how to like deliver them, you know. So the class was for 6 weeks, and then at the end of it, there's a showcase. So you actually have to get on stage in front of like a friendly crowd and do your jokes, right? So I have this 5 minutes of jokes. I'm telling you, like, I was terrified of stage at this point. I want to say a few weeks before the showcase, I was like dreading doing it. I was considering dropping out of it, you know, like not even doing it, because I was really.
Well, I'm shocked that you signed up in the first place.
Yeah.
If you had that fear.
I know, right? I was so excited about doing it, but then when I was actually doing it, and then, you know, and then I had that date in let's say 4 weeks that I had to get on stage and actually do my jokes. That was really scary. Anyway, so one thing that really helped me, you know what, everybody was telling me that I would tell them, listen, I'm really scared of going on stage in like 2 weeks or 3 weeks. And they were like, you know what, you're going to do great. Don't worry about it. You're going to do great. You'll be awesome. That made me like more scared. I'm like, no, there's more pressure. Like, and I
You're
gotta
like,
be
no,
funny.
tell me I'm gonna bomb.
Yeah. Actually, you know what? My cousin said something to me. I tell him to this day that really helped me. That calmed me down. He said, "Listen, you're not gonna be funny. Nobody's gonna laugh at you. You're gonna get on stage. No, you're not gonna get any laughs. Get over it. You know." And that really helped me for some strange reason. That really helped me. Took the pressure off. I'm like, yeah, no, I'm not gonna be funny. There's no expectation. I'm not gonna be funny. I'm gonna get on stage, do my line, get off stage. So comes the day of our showcase, right? The showcase was at National Comedy Theater, which is downtown. And it's a really nice stage. I love doing to this day, that's my favorite place to do stand-up. My girlfriend at the time, she suggested, you know what, why don't you have a glass of wine before you go on stage to just like, you know, to loosen you up, whatever, relaxes you. So I'm like, okay, yeah, I'll have a glass
She's
of wine.
like, I'm gonna get my boyfriend sloshed.
Yeah. So there's a bar next door to National Comedy Theater. I went to that bar. I asked for a glass of wine. And then they're like, the bartender was like, listen, we have a special tonight. A glass of wine is $8, but you can get a bottle of wine for 12. And I'm like, of course I'm gonna get the bottle of wine, you know? Like, I'm thinking about the deal at that point. Like, yeah, of course.
All about
it's all about the deal. It wasn't even, hey, it wasn't about just drinking. I'm like, yeah, that's what am I, stupid? Yeah, give me the bottle. So I had a glass of wine there, right? Maybe I had a glass and a half. I don't know. I hadn't finished. Obviously, there was a huge bottle of wine, right? So she puts it in a paper bag for me, like a brown paper bag. So I'm like holding this brown paper bag like a homeless person, right? I walked back to the National Comedy Theater. All the comics sat on the back row, right? I think there was like, I want to say close to like 15, 16 comics that night. A lot of people, right? And I was maybe like number 14 or 15, right? Like one of the last people that went up. That was horrible because...
Wait, there were 50 or 60 comics and you were...
15.
Oh,
15
okay.
or 16,
like,
and I was
50. That's gonna be a long
sorry, that's my accent. So there was like 15 or 16 comics, and I was like maybe number 14, right? So I was going last, like very last, and I'm terrified, right? And you know, and I'm watching comics go on stage. Some of them didn't get any laughs, right? Most of them didn't get any laughs, so they would go on stage, do their thing. It's silence, right? And that's just terrifying. And I'm like, oh my God, like 5 more people, like 6 more people, 4 more people, you know? So every time somebody went up.
Meanwhile, you're chugging.
That's right. Did I tell you this story before?
No, I'm just...
Typical, right? No. So every time somebody went up on stage, I took a sip of my wine, right?
You turned it into a drinking game.
No, I didn't realize that I'm drinking a lot. Like I was just taking sip after sip after sip, right? So it's finally my turn. I go up on stage. I am drunk at this point. Like really drunk at this point. I go on stage. I do my set. It's funny. I get a lot of laughs. Yeah, I get a lot of laughs, and that was probably the greatest moment of my life. That was the greatest high I've ever had in my life. Never felt like that ever again doing stand-up comedy.
It's just been downhill.
It's been downhill from there. No, but that first time that you go on stage and like 40, 50 people laugh at your jokes, it's priceless. I can't explain how amazing that feeling is. I was so drunk on stage. Like I'm thinking about, I didn't realize it at the time, but I'm like thinking back. I was so drunk that halfway through my set, I forgot what my jokes were. You know, like literally forgot what my joke was. I had to pause for a minute, you know, and then like remember the next joke. I was drunk. I was really drunk.
Are you sure people were laughing at your jokes?
Whatever they were laughing at. I thought at the time that they were laughing at my jokes. So I don't know what they were laughing at.
Doesn't matter.
Like,
you were making people laugh.
They're probably like, this guy's a disaster. This is so funny. But that was so awesome that they laughed at my jokes that day. because the next 20 times that I got on stage, I bombed, right? But because I got that amazing reaction that first time, I was hooked.
Yeah.
So I didn't care the next 20 times. Like, had I had a bad set that night, that probably would have been the end of it for me. I would have stopped doing comedy. I wake up the next day, I have a massive headache, and I'm like, what's going on? Like, it feels like a hangover. Why do I have a hangover? How much did I drink last night? I take out that bottle of wine out of that brown paper bag. It's empty. Like, I had the whole bottle of wine that night before I went upstage.
You just got white girl wasted before you went up
That's right.
on stage for your first comedy show.
That's right.
And then you were like, this is the life.
That's the life. I mean, it's great. I mean, I sucked for the first year. Now I'm actually getting 80% of the time I'm getting laughs when I get on stage.
I always find that, like, if you enjoy something when you suck at it, it's meant for you, because it's only going to get better.
That's right.
If you still want to do something, even though you're not great at it yet, like, imagine what's going to happen when you're great at it.
I 100% agree with that.
Yeah.
That's great. I agree with that 100%.
So what do you do when people don't laugh? Like, how do you manage that? Or does it bother you at this point?
It used to. And you can kind of tell who's not that I'm, this seasoned comedian, but you can tell who's new to comedy, because it bothers them when somebody doesn't laugh at their jokes. I feel like, personally, for me, I used to tell jokes. I used to care about people laughing at my jokes. Like, that was my purpose going on stage, was to make people laugh. Now, I've been doing it for 2 years almost. I go on stage to just have fun, to make myself laugh, if that makes sense, So I don't care if people don't laugh. I tell my joke, you laugh, that's fine. I pause for you to laugh. If you don't laugh, I go move on to the next joke. You can kind of tell who's new to this, because they get uncomfortable when they get a silence. It happens all the time at open mics, because open mics, you don't get any laughs at open mics. Never.
Okay, I have a quick question. Why is it that in a room full of comedians that are there for open mic, that they don't laugh at other people's jokes? Especially if you know what that feels like.
Yeah, so...
Is it a competitive
you know what? This is my guess. One... Let's say just everybody's great people and they want to support each other. I feel like it's because for me, a lot of time I know the punchline coming, because you're writing jokes, hopefully for a long time. You can know the punchline, because kind of jokes become predictable. You know the punchline is coming, or sometimes you've seen the act before already, So you're not gonna laugh at it again. I already laughed at it once, or most of it, or with open mics, a lot of time it's the fact that it's new jokes.
So they're being worked out.
Sometimes they're not funny.
Yeah.
To begin with, and you're being honest. You don't want to laugh at an unfunny joke, because you're doing open mics to see. I'm doing open mics, honestly. I don't care about the crowd, but I guess you're doing open mic to see if your jokes are funny or not.
It's a rehearsal. It's a practice, an experiment.
Exactly right.
Totally.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, if you do it I hate doing it to a room of comics. I really do, because you don't get a true reaction to your jokes. Comics are not likely to laugh at your jokes, but there are open mics where there's just people, like a regular crowd, and they laugh if it's funny. I like doing those open mics.
So, what type of content do you talk about when you do comedy? Because I have only seen those small little clips that you shared.
Yeah.
Because you refuse to tell anyone when you're doing comedy until about 5 minutes before.
Well, I don't want to invite you guys to a bad show, Like, if I feel like it's not a good show,
we're just gonna drink a bottle of wine. We'll be fine.
I will. I swear to God, I will. It's not like I'm doing a show like every other week.
We're gonna find you. Don't worry.
Sorry,
so what do you usually like to talk about? Or where do you pull from? Is it inspiration from your life or random things that you see? Or
it's stuff that happens to me during the day.
In the dentist office?
No. Sometimes some of my jokes are from my dentist office, but not a lot. But a lot of it comes from your life, I guess. Like, you know, when you're with a crowd of, you know, with your friends and you joke around and you might say something funny and everybody laughs, right?
No.
You're like, I said something funny. No, yeah, you do. Of course you do. Of course you do. You always do. You say funny stuff all the time. I write that down. Like if it's something that I said that people laughed, sometimes you're on a roll. You say, you know, you're funny and you're charming. Sometimes I'm just,
Do you ever record yourself while you're hanging out with your friends? You're like, sorry guys, I'm on a roll.
No, I don't record myself, but I write it down. Like if I say something funny, I write it down and then I see if I can write a joke out of that, you know, if that makes sense. I don't know, do you like stand-up comedy, right? Do you know, what's his name? Jim Gaffigan?
Yes.
He's so funny.
His voice is so distinctive.
It is.
Yeah.
It is. And he does his inner voice, whatever. He's so funny, but he has his stylist. He picks a topic and he writes like 10 jokes about it, right? Like he went on a trip. He writes 10 jokes about that, or he's, I don't know, like something. He picks a topic. He writes jokes about it. I do that kind of, you know, like I have about my like past relationships. I have jokes about that. I have like 5 minutes of just jokes about that, and then
I'm sure they love that.
Who?
Your exes.
No, it's a joke. It's not like real.
Oh, yeah.
You know? Because you embellish. Real life is not super funny. You have to embellish to make it funny. I have jokes about Tinder. You know, I have like I think 5 minutes just about Tinder. Just jokes about Tinder.
5 minutes of Tinder jokes.
Tinder jokes. Yeah. I have jokes about acting.
Oh.
My new set. I wrote jokes about acting. I take an acting class, the Meisner technique, going on auditions, like just jokes about that. Then I have jokes about the pandemic. So that's like that. So I pick a topic, I write 10, 15 jokes about it.
Got it.
I just say just funny, silly stuff about it. Not all of them are funny, obviously. Like you might write 50 jokes and you might get 5 funny jokes out of it.
Yeah.
You know,
yeah.
or 10 jokes out of it. And then out of those 10 jokes, you keep doing open mics and you keep taking jokes out, you know, because some jokes only get laughs like 20% at a time. Some jokes get laughs 80% at a time. So those 20% at a time jokes, you pull them out of your set, so that you might narrow that 10 down to like 5, you know.
Interesting. It's a total process.
Yeah, but it's fun, you know.
Yeah.
Have you wanted to do stand up? Are you still planning on doing stand up?
I feel like I would. It's hard. I want to do it, but I also feel like I'm doing all of these other things. And if I add another thing to my life, it's going to be a lot. But I definitely, because I write all the time.
You're a writer.
Yeah. And I have stories that I know are meant to be told in person just because they're more physical in nature. And like, yeah, you can describe certain things, but I think that they would be funnier or more engaging and connecting if they were told like on a stage. But this is when you were describing your story about your fear of public speaking, like I've never had any fear of public speaking. It's like the thing that I'm just like, yeah, put me in a room in front of 500 people. I'll say whatever you want me to say.
So you're 2 years ahead of me on right there. That's the first year of me doing stand-up, getting over that fear. So if you're already good with stage, and you're a writer, and you write intelligent stuff. You know, you don't write just.
Okay.
I'm sucking up to you. No, but you like, you know what I mean. Like you write smart content. You know what I mean. I think we had this conversation before. Like if you write
about
jokes,
how amazing I am, probably no.
all the time, but about the fact that you write comedy, but your comedy is smart. You know what I mean. Like you can write intelligent stuff. That I think that's audience is gonna love that a lot more than just dumb jokes.
Yeah, like
that makes sense.
Bathroom humor or something like that.
That's right.
Yeah. So thank you, Babak. I do want to do it, and I think about like if I should just go to an open mic one night.
You should
just drink a bottle of wine and do it.
Yeah.
See what happens.
No, don't drink. Don't need to drink.
But I do have some jokes. But so I guess there's like different ways that people. Well, I have 2 questions. One is, there are different ways that people tell humor or tell comedy and stand up. And I feel like either it's like you really embellish a story, like dive into it, give the details, create this huge build up,
Yes.
or there are really like one liner, fast, punchy style of stuff. Then there's, I mean,
One-liners.
there's even things like, oh God, what's his name? Dimitri Martin. He like draws while he's doing comedy.
does
So there's so
he
many
does
different
prop
things.
comedy, yeah.
I guess, do you have a style that, like, what guides you through that process?
Most of my jokes are, I feel like they're not really one-liners, but you want your jokes to be short, because I guess so it's more similar to one-liners. Like it's one short setup punchline, you know. I don't know, honestly. I like to do storytelling, honestly. I like telling stories, but it's hard to do storytelling and be funny, you know, because and not bore the audience. Like every other sentence, you need to put a punchline in there.
Yeah.
So I have some stories that I wrote down. I want to see if I can like put punchlines in it. Did I tell you that story that I went to Mexico by accident?
Yes.
Like that story, you know.
Yes.
I think that might be funny if I can put punchlines in it, you know.
Along the way.
So I want to be able to tell stories, because stories are easier to tell on stage if you can write something funny, as opposed to one-liners. Because one-liners, I feel like I tell a joke, now I gotta segue into the next joke. It's awkward.
Yeah.
And that's why. Sorry, go ahead.
I was gonna say that that feels like more of a memorization as opposed to
right, as opposed to just be comfortable on stage and go with the flow. I that's why I write jokes about one topic. So I feel like that's easier to just, you know, I Tinder one joke, second Tinder joke, you know what I mean? It's just
swiping
flows.
right, swiping right, swiping right.
Swipe right. Yeah.
Is there anything that is like totally off the table for you to talk about? Like race, religion,
I don't talk.
rape.
I don't talk anything offensive. I don't do any politics. I don't do religion. Maybe I'll do it in the future. I don't. I'm not a very. I feel like I'm a nice person on stage. I don't want to offend anybody.
Offstage is a totally different story, Doug.
Offstage, totally different. Yeah, whatever.
No.
Screw them. I do clean comedy, not because I chose to do clean comedy, but that's my personality. I don't think I can do anything besides that.
Yeah.
If that's, you know.
Okay, that makes sense. And so I guess when you are telling stories about whether it be someone in your life, a family member, a loved one, do you ever say, "Hey, I'm going to tell this joke, just wanted you to know," or how do you navigate using your personal life on stage?
I just tell the joke.
Yeah.
I don't ask for permission. I just tell the joke.
It's not like you're saying, "Okay, you can give my mother a call at this number and here's the joke about her."
That's funny. My mom came to one of my shows. I have a couple of jokes about my mom. Like I have a Tinder joke that isn't it awkward when you match with somebody that you know? Like 2 weeks ago, I matched with my mom. Like that's one of my jokes. Right?
What's the age range that you have set on your settings?
Seriously, right? But I actually have a joke about that, the age, whatever. But
save that and we'll all come see you.
They laugh. I had a joke about my dad, and he was in the audience. And the first time I did this is still like the first year that I'm doing stand up, and my dad was in the audience, and I did a joke about how my dad married my mom like how things used to be romantic back in the day because my dad married my mom for a goat, you know, like, and I said that joke, and I was nervous because my dad was sitting in the audience, right? Like now I don't care. Now I tell the joke, whatever. You get offended, you get offended. Even my parents don't, but he laughed. Like I heard his laugh in the audience. Like he laughed out loud. I'm like, all right, I'm cool. I'm cool. Let's keep going. Let's keep rolling. But
yeah, well, that's actually interesting because I think that for some reason, some people take comedy so seriously, and it's like, but it's comedy.
But it's comedy, right?
So it's not supposed to be taken seriously.
Right.
And I don't know what are your thoughts on people that they go to a comedy show and they're offended.
I think as a comedian, you should be able to say whatever you want. It's either funny or it's not. If it's not funny, you won't get laughs, right? I honestly feel like there's a lot of things that I wouldn't say on stage, but I feel like a comedian should be able to say whatever he wants on stage. And if he's not funny, he won't get a second chance on that stage.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I feel like you should be able to say whatever you want. Yeah, like I think no topic should be no topic should be
Off limits.
What is it?
Or off limits.
Off limits, exactly.
Yeah.
That's the word I want.
Yeah.
And if it's sometimes some jokes are not funny, or they're offensive, or they're just ridiculously bad. Those comics won't get on stage again. I promise you that. You know, like that's. But if the audience is laughing at the jokes, let them tell the joke. You know, that's fine.
It's like natural selection of comedy.
That's fair. Yeah.
And I think about this just like as an artist in general, right? So you live day to day. Do you feel like your perspective is constantly through this lens of finding the humor in things, or do you live and then somebody laughs and you're like, oh, write that down? I guess, do you think that you see the world a little bit differently?
Jeez, asking tough questions.
Excuse me, I had to leave really fast.
I didn't prepare for this question. I don't know. That's a tough question. No, I feel like, I don't think it's that deep, honestly, with me. If I just randomly I might say something funny, or I might find something funny, or somebody might say something funny, and I'm like, oh, might be something there, and I write it down. I don't know if that's what I need. You know, that's probably something that you have. You have like a deeper perspective of things. That's why I think you should do comedy. You'd be so good at it. That's what I like to eventually evolve into, you know, have some thoughts, and have some, instead of just one-liner silly jokes, have some, you know, have a message maybe in my act. That would be cool. That would be really cool.
If you were to have a message, what would it be?
I don't know. What would your message be?
Don't take life so seriously.
That's a great message.
That's maybe, I just thought of that. Probably that, especially if it's coming from a.
Is there anything that you feel passionate about, that you would write about, or?
I think most of the things that I would want to talk about are stuff that's happened to me in my life. Just weird things that happen, and telling those stories. Yeah. And I guess in the writing that I'm doing, I kind of do this thing where silly things happen to me, and then I find the lessons in them. So I'm writing this silly experience, but then underneath it, it's how can I bake in silently an aha moment where people are like, oh, either it's like really connecting, or they learn something from it. Like whatever it was that I learned through the experience, they learned too.
Nice, yeah. But is there like a topic that you might get on stage and talk about, or?
Just lots of sex.
There you go.
For some reason,
I feel like, to get like something.
I feel like that's the easiest thing to find so much to talk about. That just honestly, human interactions. Is probably where I find the most. We're all a bunch of fucking weirdos.
I agree.
And that is hilarious. There's just so much. You could just sit at a coffee shop and watch people and laugh.
Get so much funny out of it. I agree.
Yeah. Yeah. Do you ever intentionally go places and just do that?
I know. I wish I had the time for it. I don't.
Because you're too busy pulling teeth. Is that?
I'm too busy pulling teeth. And
do you ever practice your lines on your patients while they're like they're gauzed up, they're morphined, and you're like, is this funny?
Yeah, I do have some silly dentist jokes that it's funny to me. I feel like not funny to the patient. And I sometimes I use them, like when I'm in a good mood, you know. Yeah. I tell those jokes to patients.
Oh, you tell them to patients?
Yeah, like
do they laugh?
Sometimes, I hope, you know. Yeah. Sometimes they're like, "What?" You know.
I mean, while you're like shooting them up with.
No, I don't. I don't talk. I don't really. Yeah, I don't talk to patients while I'm working in their mouth, you know. But like when I first meet them and I'm trying to like make him comfortable, and I might tell a joke, you know.
This is a totally different topic, but as a dentist, I mean, what do you learn about a person when you look inside of their mouth?
Ooh,
That face. Ooh.
I don't know whether they're responsible or not. I don't know. That is a tough question. What do I learn? I don't really judge people by their teeth, if that, you know.
Oh, you're okay.
I feel like, because honestly, I've had a lot of cavities myself, so it's okay if you have a couple of cavities, or if you need
all right, everybody, did you hear that? The dentist said it's okay if you have cavities.
It's okay if you have cavities. We get cavities. It's normal. I mean, yeah, just the fact that you came to me to get them fixed, kudos to you, But I mean, I've had a lot of cavities, So no, I don't know. Honestly, I don't know if I. That's a tough question. Let me think about that.
Think about that tomorrow when you're
I gotta
hand deep in someone's mouth.
I know. I gotta think about that. Honestly, I don't know.
Yeah. What's your favorite dental procedure?
What's my favorite dental procedure?
Yeah.
These questions are getting tougher. I like doing surgeries. Like placing implants, doing extractions.
Oh.
I like those.
Yeah.
Once in a while, because they're really, they could be really tiring. Like I have to really literally block my schedule for a couple hours. Can't see anybody else. We have to get everything has to be sterilized. Get special gowns. And you can't leave the room or anything like that. Like with other procedures, like I might work for 10.
You can go eat some Fritos in the break room.
I literally can. Like if I'm doing a crown, my assistants are amazing. So I start the crown, then may take me like 15 minutes to prep the crown. Then I leave. My assistant takes over, does the scanning, does the impression. We scan, so my assistant does it, and then she actually designs it for me. Does all that work.
So you don't really have to do very much.
I don't. Yeah, I don't do a lot. But with surgeries, you can't leave the room for 2-3 hours, and that's exhausting.
To be in someone's presence for 2 to 3 hours.
I know. I have to listen to you for 2 hours. No, but yeah, like literally be sitting down and concentrating on that for 2-3 hours.
Yeah.
Ugh,
No,
I like
that.
procedures that are short. Like 20 minutes, half an hour. Okay, let's go to the next patient.
Yeah. No, totally, that makes sense. Yeah, 3 hours in someone's mouth would be a long time, and like they can't talk or anything. I was actually the last time I was at the dentist, I was finding myself feeling very peaceful, on the verge of falling asleep.
Well, you're a great patient.
I think so. And
you're an amazing patient. Oh my God, you were falling asleep.
I was literally having a root canal.
And you were falling asleep.
Yes.
You had a great dentist too, probably.
Yeah, I feel like every time I go to the dentist, I love it. I just love getting my teeth cleaned. I think it feels great. I think I just like it when people touch me. I don't know, even if it's my mouth. And so,
can you be my patient? You come to me.
I should. You should be my dentist. So I'm like on the verge of falling asleep, and after like they're done with everything, and I'm chatting with the dentist, I tell him this, and he's like, "Yeah." And apparently it is very common. I started asking him questions. I was like, do people ever fall asleep on you? And he was like, oh yeah, all the time. And he was like, it's really sad because usually the ones that fall asleep are new mothers. And he's like, this is the only time where they actually have peace and quiet.
That makes sense.
Is in the dentist office.
That makes sense. Yeah.
I kind of blew my mind. I was like, that is horrifying.
It's horrifying.
The only time you get to rest is when you're having a root canal done. So,
God damn, I can't wait to go to the dentist.
Yeah.
Jesus, get some sleep.
So, are you following the path of, what's that? The comedian that was a doctor that ended up on Hangover?
Am I following his? No.
Are you following in his footsteps?
Not at all. What's his name? Dr. No, what's his name? Something Jung? Is that? I can't remember his name.
Do you aspire
He's so funny.
to one day do full-time comedy, or what is your dream?
I don't know. I don't have. I'm a dentist, and I'm trying. I mean, as much as I care about comedy, I care about dentistry too.
Mm.
I love what I do. I'm actually
Who
trying.
wouldn't? You barely have to do anything. Just 20 minutes
Apparently,
here,
right?
20 minutes there.
Right. Just show up. Everybody does the work
Put
for me.
on a fancy gown.
Yeah, just go say hi, and then my hygienist takes over. But I'm trying to expand, have more dental offices. Like I'm not. This is not. I'm not trying to leave dentistry. However, and I really don't have any. I don't have any big expectations. I don't really. I'm not trying to be famous. I'm not trying to be. What I honestly, what I would like to happen is if might sound a little cheesy, but if I'm recognized as a great actor or as a great comedian one day, not to be famous. I don't care to be famous, but if I'm recognized as as a good actor or a good comedian, that would be awesome. But I think doing it this way is best because I don't have to make it. I don't have to make it as a comedian or there's no pressure
because you're building a dental empire.
I don't need to get paid. I don't need to. I can say no to everybody if I wanted to. But I'm doing it really because it's fun. I love it. I loved comedy, and then I started doing acting, and I love acting. You love acting?
Yes.
How did you get started in acting?
I was writing, and I was trying to find something like a creative outlet for myself. And I started to realize the more that I started ghostwriting for other people, I was like, this is basically acting on paper. I'm pretending to be, I'm embodying somebody else through their words. And so I thought that if I started taking acting classes, I could kind of get more into that state of mind, but then also have something fun and different and meet new people and things like that. So yeah. And then I fell in love with it pretty much immediately.
I know, right?
Yeah.
That's great. And you're really good. Honestly, you're really,
here we go again.
You're great.
Babak, you're welcome on the show
all the time.
Anytime.
So it worked? No. But you're amazing. Like I remember the last that scene that you did with Megan? Was it Megan? Right.
Yeah.
That was so good. Like the last time you guys did it?
I was professing my lesbian love to my best friend.
Good. That was really good.
Yeah.
And I'm sure you're 10 times better now. We haven't been in class together for I don't know how long, but
I'm
are you Wednesdays now or?
I'm Fridays.
Friday.
In case anyone wants to stalk me.
With the other top actors. What is it? What do you call it? The advanced class, right?
Oh yeah.
Is it Fridays the advanced class? Right?
I think so now.
That's awesome.
But yeah, I'm actually about to do a scene with where I yet again I'm like hitting on this man, and my husband is gay. This is the second time I've had a secretly gay husband. I don't know what the teachers are trying to tell me. But this is actually funny because the scene is going to be up for the first time tomorrow. And I had to order, like, my character wears a slit, which is basically, it looks like a silk nightie.
Right.
And so I ordered one on Amazon, and I used my brother's Prime account. And so I ordered it on his Prime account, and I get this email from him today, and it was like a forward from Amazon Prime being like, your order is on its way. It's like ready for pickup at the Amazon drop, whatever. And then underneath it goes silk lingerie, nightie, like smaller, whatever. And my brother's just like, LOL, like you're buying lingerie on the family Prime account. And I was mortified.
That is so funny.
It's okay, you don't have to laugh. But I literally happened when I was driving over here, and I was like, oh dear God. I was like I swear, I was like, I do that on my own account. You don't have to know about it.
See, this could be your stand-up set, honestly, like stories like that.
That aren't funny.
It is funny. What are you saying?
But yeah. So do you have anything coming up for acting?
Do I have anything coming up for acting? No. No, nothing for acting. I haven't been I haven't been doing auditions.
It's been a weird time.
I've been really busy with my day job. I'm trying to open up a second office, and that's been really busy. I've been doing spending most of my time just dealing with that. So I haven't really done a lot of auditions, but that's not an excuse. I should be doing something. I haven't done any auditions lately.
If you were to do any type of acting, what character do you want to be? Are you because you can be really scary. I know that you're a teddy bear, but you're also very scary.
I love the scary character. Honestly, I love.
You also look like Mr. Bean on occasion, so
I do. I
have
totally
that going
do.
for you.
Yeah, I can totally pull that off. I love that scary, angry character.
Like you could be a serial killer.
Like I could be a serial killer.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. That's so kind of you.
Like I've just been wishing that someone would say that.
I've been wishing somebody to say that.
You could be a serial killer. You could be like that boyfriend who turned psycho.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. I see that in you.
But that's that. I love doing that character. The character just that nuts and goes and does has angry outbursts. I love doing that character. Because the character I hate is a character who, this is my weakness, and I don't know how to. Hopefully, I'll be able to do this in the future. Emotional character. It's so hard for me. I can't get emotional, cry on stage. It's so hard for me.
Do you ever cry in your normal life?
All the time. No, I don't. I mean, probably, yeah. I do.
When was the last time you cried?
I don't remember.
I forget who the actor was, but I remember reading something somewhere. That's really vague. There was an actor and I read something somewhere. But they were talking about how every single day, no matter if they're having the best day of their life, they ensure that they have a complete breakdown and cry. Or if they're having the worst day of their life, they make sure that at some point they hysterically laugh. And I found that to be really fascinating because they could do that. Then they're like, well, when I walk on set, no matter what's happening in my typical life, the moment I get there, I know that I can still pull my emotions whichever way I need them to go. Because think about like if you have a character who is about to propose to his wife, let's say, right? But you just had like someone significant in your family pass away, let's say, in your real life, how do you step into that? So just practicing it every single day so that no matter what, you can always do that.
That's awesome. Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess that's the thing. Like a lot of time when I have a sad day maybe, or I try to block that emotion. I feel like that's probably my mistake, right? Because I don't want to be in that sad state, that's something I have to work on. That's the hardest thing for me to do on stage.
Just be sadder.
I know. Why can't I quit? Yeah. I need everything to suck for me.
No. So let's say that someone is listening and they really want to get into acting or stand-up. What would you tell them to do?
My personal opinion, just do it. I feel like you should just do it. If you have, I was just talking to my cousin about, I don't know if it was my cousin or somebody else, but I was talking to somebody about this. If you like to do something, go for it. If you have passion for something, do it. Don't worry about talent. Don't worry about whether you think you're good or not. Just do it. Just start it, do it, and ignore the failures, because you're gonna have a lot of failures in the beginning. That's what I would say. Just if you like something, that's all you need. You don't need talent. I don't think so. I mean, I wasn't funny. Now I feel like I'm funnier. Not that I'm funny, but I definitely wasn't funny before I started.
On a scale of 1 to 10.
How funny am I?
Yeah.
10 being the funny. Honestly, I don't know.
1 to 5.
4.
That's easier, huh? For some reason.
Yeah. 1 to 100. I don't know. What would you say? What's your advice to somebody who wants to do acting or comedy or writing?
Oh man. I always think, well, what you just said was incredibly inspirational. I
Thank you
think,
so much.
yeah. We should talk more, just to lift each other up,
Yeah, I
but
love this.
I think that for me, taking the class really helped me because I think that let me restate myself here. I think that taking those classes not only has taught me a lot, but it's also connected me with a bunch of people that have the same goals in mind. And I think that when you want to do something, it's so much more fun and it's easier to get into when you're surrounded by people that care about the same things as you.
I agree.
And it can get, especially with writing, like that can be a really solitary thing to focus on. And maybe this is just me personally because I love to be around people, like a little more extroverted in a lot of ways, but like having those people that you can then go to and connect with and share your writing or create acting with, or if I don't know if you have like a group of comedians and you guys like to create sketch comedy together, whatever it may be, but finding the community of people to dive into together.
That supports you, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. And I think that these things are expressions of yourself, and in some ways, I think a lot of the times people that don't do that don't necessarily understand it. So at least that's been my experience. So finding people that do helps a lot.
I agree. That helps a lot. I agree.
So if anybody wants to do it, they should come hang out with Babak and I.
Yeah, I agree. More you though.
They can make an appointment at your dentist's office.
Anybody who wants to become an actor, this is what you do. You call my dental office, make an appointment for a cleaning.
This sounds like a storefront, a little setup here. What happens in the back room there? In the dentist office.
So let me ask you a question.
Okay.
First of all, I feel like you have a lot of talents that I don't know yet. I know you're an actor. I know you're very funny. I know you're a writer. Mm-hmm. What else do you do? I feel like there's like 5 other things that you do that I don't know.
What do? Well, I play the piano.
You probably draw. You probably play music. You play music. Mm-hmm. I know that you play. You're a good music. Oh my god. You play music. What else?
Just what are my top talents in life? Is this what you're asking?
What are the things that you do? Yeah, not top.
Well, I spent pretty much the first half of my life thus far, 2/3 of it, I guess you could say, until I was like 22 years old, as an athlete. I swam competitively, so there was that. That's like who I was and what I was for 20. Well, not really, but for like a decade. And then in terms of art, I guess now I write and I act, and on occasion, I play the piano like every day.
On occasion, every day?
Yeah, on occasion, every day. I need a little bit of a mental break sometimes, and so when I do that, it just gets me out of my head.
That's so awesome.
And all the outdoor activities.
Mm-hmm. That's right.
But yeah. Okay, well, is there anything else that you want to share with us?
Is there anything else I want to share with you guys?
Yeah. Or any other questions you would like to ask?
I do actually have more questions for you. You don't understand. Like I'm not being nice to you. You're so inspirational, honestly. Mm-hmm. Like all the things. What gave you the idea to do this podcast? Because I think this is amazing that you're doing this.
Well, it was a couple of things, but when the pandemic kind of started, and I guess before that, I just always, for one, find myself talking to myself constantly, like having a conversation all of the time. And so that
with yourself?
Yeah.
So that's normal.
I think
I have one more thing to share then.
So there is that. And then the more that I've gotten into writing and just connecting with people over the years, I've realized that everybody has something special inside of them. And so I think that it's so beautiful to be able to share that with people and to pull it out of people and to have conversations like this where we can learn about each other. And if anyone listens, then maybe they can gain something from it too, or have fun along the way. So, and Logan, he He was the guy that he looks like
The
he
friend,
could be
your
my
friend,
brother,
right? Yeah.
basically. He has this studio and was really kind
This
enough
is
to
amazing.
welcome me into it. So
I honestly, when you said you're doing a podcast, I thought there's gonna be like one microphone.
yeah, we were gonna
That we
like
share.
meet
That
in
we
like the
share.
closet of
Hello, here in your in your basement.
yeah.
Your dad is like, "Be quiet, guys."
Yeah.
No, this is really awesome. This is very cool.
Great. Well, I am glad you came on. If you have any last words, I guess where can everybody find you?
Oh my god, I wish I had a. You know what? I had an Instagram page.
Oh yeah,
that
you were blacklisted from the internet because
apparently I don't know what happened to my Instagram.
You're saying that your comedy's clean, and I think that's
I thought so
questionable.
until 2 weeks ago when they deleted it. But I don't know. I don't know what happened. But my Instagram got deleted. I wrote a story. I put up a story, but I don't think it had anything to do with this story. But I asked if there's any female actors who would want to do a audition for a scene with me. So that's it. And then like 5 hours after that, it got deleted.
Weird. Yeah. So
which is my fault.
Because your Instagram has been deleted, is there any other place where people can reach you if they would like to? I'm not. You don't have to.
That's
You don't have to give out your phone number.
It's
but
you can call me at 1-800.
Hot Dentists Anonymous.
Hot dentist. Wow. Okay. Ooh, I'm blushing here.
Oh. Okay. Well, with that, thank you so much for coming on to the show.
You call me at 1-800-HOT-DENTIST.
Thank you so much for tuning in to this week's episode of Who Wears Your Pants. Please do me a favor and hit subscribe, leave me a review or a comment so that I can turn this disaster of a show into something great. I need you. No, seriously, I do. And if you're feeling really invigorated, check out my corner of the interweb at kirstentrammell.com or become my friend on the gram at Kirsten__Trammell. Because as a ginger, I need all the friends I can get. Peace and love, my homies. I will see you next time.